For the first time in 46 years, the best of the best in the Sports Car Club of America return to the West Coast for the club's annual one-race battle for the title of champion in 27 classes. This year's three-day duel for the medals brings over 400 racers to California's Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca on the stunning Monterey Peninsula. It's time to seriously step up at the 2014 and 51st SCCA National Championship Runoffs.
As the field comes out of the paddock onto the front straightaway, we'll give you the starting grid in just a moment. But, maybe shorten up the running time between races by a little bit to get on pace once again as well and get the day complete, because here you have noise restrictions. Scramp, the club that operates Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, we have to be done by 6 o'clock local time each night. So that is one of the challenges we'll face here today. As we get set to go racing, back downstairs to Hayward.
All right, rolling out to the course, we have the STL Field Super Touring Lite. These cars are born out of World Challenge rule sets, a little more advanced in their development than touring cars. They have to keep the factory tub, the factory driveline, some aerodynamics limit allowed, but these guys are basically running concept street cars with racetrack modifications.
Yeah, it's going to be very fast and very entertaining, we know, as we get set to go here today. Let's take a look at the starting lineup as the field lines up behind the Mazda 6 safety car. Cliff Ira from Kansas City, Missouri will be on pole for this one, the Fira Motorsports Acura Integra GSR. That's car number 36. Brian Laughlin alongside in the 27. He's from Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Tulsa Radiology Mazda Miata. Row 2 on the inside, Bob Shader from Longmont, Colorado, the MiataCage.com MX-5. That's the 5 car, and alongside car number 8, Spencer Trenery from Berkeley, California, the Fantasy Junction Acura Integra. Brian Shanfield starts 5th from Powell, Ohio, the Honda Racing HPD Honda Civic SI. He's part of that Hart Honda team of engineers. Brian Auger in the 07 from Monterey, California, local driver, starts 6th, the AugerSmiles.com Acura Integra. Jim Drago, who we saw in action yesterday out of Memphis, Tennessee, in the 2 car, the East Street Racing Mazda Miata. Tom Lepper in the 21 from Benicia, California, the Thomas Lepper Associates Honda Civic. Starting 9th, Oscar Jackson from Yorba Linda, California, the Jackson Racing Mazda Miata, that's the 16. Tom Manell starts 10th in the 60 from Crockett, California, that carries Redding Tire Mazda RX-7. Starting 11th, Mark Drennan from San Jose, California. Drennan in the No Wife, No Kids Mazda Miata. Greg Amy starts 12th from Middletown, Connecticut, the Honda Racing HPD Acura Integra, that's the 33 car. 7th row, John Grillos from Sonoma, California, the 08. Rumpled Fender Racing is his sponsor. Mazda Miata is the ride. Paul Whiting starts 14th from Pahrump, Nevada in the 51, the LDL Speed Shop Honda CRX. Row number 8, Jason Godfrey in the 26 from Menlo Park, California. That is the Body Investors Mazda Miata. The 17 car of James Bishop from Clovis, California starts in 16th spot, the Masters Helping Hands Toyota Celica. 17th spot to Ken Sutherland in the 4 from Sherwood, Oregon, the Wyatt Fire Protection Miata. Brian Cashin in the 48 starts 18th from Gilbert, Arizona. That's a Mazda RX-7. Colin Rosenberg goes 19th from Torrance, California in the 66. The BFG HPD Honda Civic. Jason Gress starts 20th in the 39 from San Juan Capistrano here in California. The Mullerized Suspension Systems Mazda RX-7. Michael Karpinski, Paul Seifert, and Dan Harding, the final 3 starters in this 23-car field. 3 Mazdas bringing up the rear of the grid. Randy Popes, these cars run lap times anywhere from $141 to $156. Big spread in qualifying times.
They're like the hot rods that you see the young guys driving around town. This class aimed at a younger driver, trying to attract them into the field. And we got a bunch of them.
All right, safety car is in. 20 laps, 40 minutes of racing upcoming. Ought to be a good one. An Integra, Cliff Ira on the pole in that 36 car, that white and green trim machine. The 27 of Brian Laughlin alongside. 5 wide, they get bumped into the concrete. 1 car's going sideways. That's one of the Acuras into the wall at the start. We are green and going, though, and he is out of the way. We'll try to stay green. We saw a lot of this yesterday. Very limited cautions. That's the 06 STL car. That's the car of Brian Shanfield from Powell, Ohio. He's one of our Honda Racing HPD Hart team entries. Tried to go 4 wide and it didn't work.
You know what? The front row took it real slow, and when you have a slow start, the back usually gets a run, and that's what happened, and it caused a big jam up in the middle of the field.
Cliff Ira is your leader there in the 36. Right behind him, one of the other Acuras in the field making some hay there. Believe that's the car of Spencer Trenery in the 8 car. Came from the 2nd row. That's the orange trim machine up into 2nd spot. It is Trenery.
Wow, the MX-5 number 5 car has dropped way back. Bob Shader.
Another car off the 07. That's Tim Auger from Monterey, the AugerSmiles.com entry. That's another Acura. He goes into the dirt. He'll get back up onto the racetrack.
I've actually raced that car before. I know the history. It's run by Ron Carroll. And it's very sorry to see him go around. Whoa, look at this, using all the pavement.
Trenery in the 8, trying to shoulder his way into the lead, and he does so. So Trenery, who qualified 4th, takes over going into the corkscrew.
Nice move. He must have got a good run out of turn 6. Used all of that pavement that doesn't look like pavement going up the hill, stuck it in under the leader into the corkscrew. Look at him go. Boy,
Spencer Trenery, but you can tell that in qualifying, he must not have had anything close to the setup he wanted. He was almost 8/10 off the pole time. Look at the caster in that car. The way they've got the front end set up in that thing, you can tell maybe they made some changes. Caution waving locally as you head up the hill under start finish.
My guess is that he's a local guy, Spencer Trenery, and he knows that in spite of the foggy condition, the track's probably pretty good because he seems brave and just running flat out.
Plenty of grip. This is a front-wheel drive car, of course, and depending on the situation, that can be an advantage in a place like this.
It can, if it's kind of slick. Once we see the lap times, we'll get a feel for that. But he's not driving like it's slick.
Yeah, no, not at all. Trenery in the 8. I've been doing this for quite some time at a very high level. Under the Cooper Tires bridge, good lead on the second-place machine. Ira drops back to 3rd. One of the Mazdas has moved into 2nd now. Yeah,
it looks like Ira doesn't have the setup this morning. Or again, maybe his car is set up for later in the race. The 27 of Brian Laughlin moves up into 2nd place.
Ira falls to 3rd. Bob Shader is 4th in a Mazda. Jim Drago 5th in the 2 car. There's Drago right there in his MX-5 with the hard top on that car.
Yeah, they run the hard tops for safety and for primarily aerodynamics.
Sure.
The cars are a lot better with a roof on them.
Spencer Trenery saying, "See ya, boys." He has opened up about a 20-car length advantage.
Wow, that's impressive. He's got good fog lights, I guess.
Yeah. Heading toward the corkscrew again, and you can see there is still some fog hanging at the top of the racetrack.
You see a little bit of lockup from that Acura Integra of Cliff Ira. That's normal because the cars, typically front drivers, run a lot of rear sway bar, and it's easy to get the inside rear wheel light. It's not a problem. It's not hurting him.
That's your pole sitter, Ira, who has fallen back to 3rd now behind Laughlin and behind Trenery, side by side for 4th spot here.
And he has a big wiggle coming out of turn 10, and we've got Bob Shader going underneath him. And
Shader in the 5, and here comes Drago. Drago in the 2 wants to be part of the fun. 4th, 5th, and 6th there.
Look at that Integra go down that front straightaway. It's probably one of those high revving VTEC engines. They're still cleaning up the accident, and it looks like they're trying to do it on a local.
Yeah, the 06, Ryan Shanfield from Powell, Ohio. He got in trouble at the start there, trying to go 4 wide. It was a jailbreak headed toward turn 1, and man, got into. You could see him trying to drive out of it there. He just could not correct quite enough.
Yeah, he hooked wheels a little bit. Sometimes when you rub another car, especially in a class like this, the wheels sometimes are bigger and they stick out. The rubber will catch and just throw a car, and that's what happened to our friend up there near the front of the field, Brian Shanfield, who was actually picked among the top 3 in the sports car who will win articles.
All right, let's set the scene for you. We've run a couple of laps already, working lap 3 of 20. Spencer Trenery got the lead on lap number 1 from 4th starting spot, and he has started to pull away. Brian Laughlin in that blue and green Mazda Miata in 2nd spot for 3rd in STL. Good fight there. Cliff Ira holding on to the spot right now, and then you've got 4th and 5th, a little gap back to 4th and 5th. That would be Bob Shader in the 5, Jim Drago in the 2, Oscar Jackson in the 16 in 6th position. He's still in the mix as well as we hit the corkscrew.
Oscar Jackson of Jackson Racing. I think this is Jackson Jr. I used to race with his dad in the old days. Interesting to watch that 2nd place Brian Laughlin Mazda Miata outbrake the Integra into the corkscrew, and then the Integra faster on the straight. Interesting combination of abilities. Look at these Mazdas stacked up all over the Integra into turn 11. As we come on the straight, I think we're going to see that Integra pull him down the straightaway. He's got more power. Look at the gap open up.
Cliff Ira, the pole sitter in the 36, starting to pull away again from Bob Shader in the 5, Jim Drago in the 2. And the other thing to me that's interesting, Randy, is I was looking over the entry list of the qualifying times. Again, back to that front drive, rear drive question, what's going to be better at a given racetrack? The Integras are front drive, the Miata's rear drive. So you've got a couple of different approaches here.
It's an interesting combination, and I would expect that the Mazda Miata, with its rear drive and perfect chassis balance, to be a good choice on a track like Mazda Raceway with all the corners. On the other hand, who's leading?
Spencer Trenery by 4 seconds. He has pulled away.
In a front-wheel drive Acura Integra, he's just rocking it. But I think he has used local knowledge and probably a good, sharp crew to set up a car for this totally different condition.
Yeah, absolutely.
This track is fast when it's cool in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh, yes. And at this point, the track's been swept off already. We haven't had cars laying wheels off so far anyway, so you don't have that problem of, generally speaking anyway, of, just as I say that, one car in the dust coming up the hill, but yesterday we had a lot of cars putting dirt up on the surface.
Look how foggy it is going up that hill.
Yeah.
It's like the fog bank is just at the level of the corkscrew.
Yeah.
And they drive up into it and then back down out of it. In fact, look at the sun coming out. Uh-oh, Ira in trouble.
Should be a beautiful day weather-wise here, as it has been all week long once the fog does lift. So Ira under pressure for position. This is for third. Bob Shader right behind him there in the 5. And a little further back, you've got Jim Drago in the 2 car out of Memphis, Tennessee. A couple of the Miatas in the field.
Shader is just waiting to pounce on Ira there. He had a problem in the corkscrew. Came out of there slow. Laughlin has gapped him and moved on up a bit. Laughlin running quick, but not on the pace with Trenery. He's in his own world right now, leading this race.
Spencer Trenery pulling away, 4.5 seconds to the good over Brian Laughlin as we work lap 5 of 20. Battle for position here, down into 1. Looked as though Drago was going to try to take a run at Shader for 5th spot. Couldn't quite get enough speed going down into 1.
Yes, sir. He wants a piece of him. That's a Generation 2 Mazda Miata for Drago, and a Generation 3. They call him NB and NC. Just ahead of him there. Each version a little bit bigger, a little bit better, a little faster.
We're getting word from pit road that Jim Drago's car may be laying down a little oil smoke or smoke of some sort anyway, so we'll keep an eye on that. We had one situation like that yesterday where we thought a rear end seal was going in a car, but the car was able to finish and win a race. So
yeah, that was an MG midget, and they have a long history of smoking, whereas if a Mazda Miata is smoking, you know that's probably a problem, because they usually don't.
They're usually bulletproof, aren't they?
Yes, usually, and I believe what it was a tire lockup.
Yeah.
Shader and Drago are right on the limit of the Mazdas, and one of their strengths is braking late. That's why you'll see these Mazdas tend to catch the Acura as we come down the hill out of the corkscrew. That Acura, Cliff Ira, he's been up and down. He had a problem in the corkscrew, but now he's caught right up to Laughlin there.
Yeah.
If he gets a good run through 10 and 11, he may be able to take a shot at him at the end of the straight.
Cliff Ira was the pole sitter coming in. Jim Drago was one of the favorites in this category, according to Sports Car Magazine, to win a gold medal here today. So far, Ira has not shown a whole lot of speed. Neither has Drago, 3rd and 5th. But Laughlin under attack for 2nd spot, and now this battle continues to rage for 4th here. You've got the 5 of Shader, the 2 of Drago. Pretty much nose to tail on the front stretch.
Really impressive, the performance of Spencer Trenery out front, just wailing.
Yeah.
Whereas the Integra, see, he catches him at the end of the straightaway, but then the Mazda Miata is so good through the corners. It's a good back and forth.
Trenery in the 8 car, the Fantasy Junction entry, continues to pull away. 4.8 seconds to lead last time by. He's adding a 10th or 2 every lap to his lead.
Impressive, and you see that back wheel come off the ground. You can see it in the air through some of the sweepers. That's the mention I made about how front-wheel drive cars are set up, because they have so much load in the front, that's where all the weight is, that you put a lot of stiffness in the rear suspension to try to make the rear suspension work harder and balance it out. And if you get it right, they'll rock.
Yeah.
Front drive cars look like they couldn't possibly work. And then here he is leading the race, and they're fantastic when you have them set up correctly.
Spencer Trenery certainly with a good setup so far. Randy, you've been in this position so many times. If you're opening up a lead on the field, at what point do you start thinking, hey, I need to take it easy here a little bit, save what I've got, hold the lead, not necessarily add to it? Doesn't do you any good to keep adding tenths and tenths and tenths to your lead, does it?
3 seconds.
That's what you want.
I think if I got a 3-second lead, I got a good gap, and now it's time to kind of save the car. I don't believe in the old Ayrton Senna theory of running qualifying laps the whole time and just devastating the field, because it raises the risk. And your primary job in a race is risk management, because guess what? The only lap you need to lead is the last one. And other than that, you got to make sure the car finishes the race. In STL, these cars are hopped up a little bit.
Yeah.
The rules, they're allowed to modify the engines, modify the suspension, get a little more power. It's like a hot rod you see on the street, that kid with the big pipe.
Yeah.
That's the nature or the spirit of these cars. They're really cool. Little lockup from Laughlin. He's trying to take advantage of the braking in that lightweight Mazda Miata, and that more powerful Integra runs him down at the end of the straight.
Turn 2, the Andretti hairpin at the end of the front straightaway. Turn 1, kind of a kink down the hill into 2. We've seen a lot of different approaches when we watched this yesterday. When you hit that corner in your race car, are you taking a really late entry like we saw Laughlin do just there?
Yeah, that's not my favorite choice. I actually start turning down real early. I run it as a double apex, we call it. In other words, get up at the inside in the beginning, out to the middle of the track, inside at the end.
To line up for the next corner.
Let's see, yeah, is that Auger coming back there? No, that's Greg Amy.
Greg Amy back a little further in the pack here as we take you back through the top 10, top 12 cars, the 33 car. Sitting back in 11th, that is Amy in that blue Integra there. He's got Paul Whiting right behind him in the 51, James Bishop in the 17. Those 3 or 4 cars, Bishop is in one of the Miatas in the field. Behind Bishop, you've got the 66 of Colin Rosenberg and one of the other Acuras in the field. That's a Honda Civic, actually, next in line.
I think I've driven both of those baby blue 92 Acura Integras.
Ha!
I think they're Ron Carroll cars. I used to race with Donna Giglio in those cars.
Wow.
And I know the Tim Auger car for sure. Auger's having on a comeback trail because he's the one we saw spin into the gravel earlier in the race.
Yeah.
Look at the sun shining on the corkscrew.
Looks a little better. Now you've got a lot more visibility. And all the times you hear drivers, and you've talked to us about this, you go into the corkscrew, the car just lightens. You kind of drive over. You used to call it yesterday driving over a waterfall.
Yes.
Driving up into the fog and then down, that must be a great experience.
It would be disconcerting, I think. It was mighty foggy over around turn 6. Now the sun's out, temperature's coming up. It could really change the complexion of the race because tire pressures are going to come up a lot. Got some track temp.
Working back a little further in the field, the 39 of Jason Gress, one of the RX-7s in the field. He's running in 15th spot right there, under some pressure. Right behind him, the 48 of Brian Cashin, who is 16th in the running order right now. So 15th, 16th, and 17th in play here. And Cashin in the 88 making a move to the inside. Michael Karpinski there in the 188, actually getting out of the way of the oncoming traffic. He's a lap down right now.
Whoa, look at the 39 car running down the straightaway. Those
Jason
are both
Gress, yeah.
Generation 2 RX-7s from the late 80s, and they're being harassed by a Generation 1 RX-7 from the early 80s. Pretty cool, all rotary engine race cars.
Michael Karpinski there in the 188, moving to the inside, picking up a couple of positions. That is 15th, 16th, and 17th. Cashin right there as well in the 48 car. So
and they're rocking it.
They have a great three-way battle. Far behind the leader now, about 50 seconds behind the race leader, but what a great fight for position.
Oh yeah, look at them back and forth. They're all over it. The very similar cars, the first two.
Yeah.
That first generation RX-7, really different. Lighter, less engine, probably a little better handling, potentially. And in STL, what a great car to run because the rotary engines love racing. It's a great engine for racing because it revs and revs. Whoa, dropping a wheel.
Colin Rosenberg up ahead, running 14th in the 66. That's a Civic Si. As we watch this battle for 15th, 16th, and 17th continue to unfold here with 7 laps in the books in our STL feature. First race of the day, day 2 of the 2014 SCCA National Championship Runoffs. Back toward the front of the field now. The battle continuing. The 5 car, one of the cars in the top 5 much of the day. Bob Shader in 5th position in that silver Miata. Jim Drago behind him in 2nd spot. And meantime, the fight for second. Cliff Ira now has gotten past Brian Laughlin in the 27. So Ira, your pole sitter today, out of Kansas City, Missouri, in the Fira Motorsports is the team name. That's an Acura Integra GSR. He started to find some speed here.
And look, he's from the Buccaneer region, which I know because I grew up in Florida. That's Jacksonville, Florida.
There you go.
So he probably started out in my neighborhood.
Could well have done that.
I remember Greg Ira running a Datsun Z car in ITS.
Wow.
And being really good at it. So I'm not surprised to see him running well. And the temperature agrees with his car. Look how much better he's running as the temperature comes up. Probably has his setup set for like during the week.
Yeah.
When the weather was more like this, some sun and some track temperature as they cut through some lap traffic.
Down through the corkscrew, Ira in second now. Laughlin in the 27 getting dropped back to third, so Ira starting to rumble in that Integra. Meantime, again, we talked about this several times yesterday, if you're Spencer Trenery, who grabbed the lead on lap number one after qualifying fourth, Trenery able to hear from his crew or maybe see in the mirror. He's got a big lead now. Have at it, boys. I'm going to continue to add to my advantage. That's Trenery up ahead in the orange and white Integra.
Yeah, he's way up there, isn't he? I mean, he's just
almost a full
running
straightaway.
So well.
Yeah.
He's running so well. consistently running quicker than everybody else. And early part, pulled out a nice lead, and I think he's being just a little bit careful, trying to make sure he gets to the finish.
Cliff Ira in the 36 car in second now, and maybe starting to gain a little ground on Trenery, showing why he was the pole sitter in this class, the lead down to 4 seconds now. And you talked a little about this yesterday in some of the production-based categories. Tire temperatures are so critical, tire pressures especially in your setup. So you talked to us yesterday about holding something back and setting up for the end of a 20-lap, 45-mile race like we have here. Is that a matter of guessing right on the tire pressure?
Absolutely, but the more experience you have, the better educated your guess, right?
Yeah.
So the guys that run here a lot have a feel for what the weather does to the tire pressures. And almost all tires are very sensitive to their pressure. If you go above a certain point, just 2 or 3 pounds, you can lose a half second or a second a lap, which in this kind of racing at the SCCA runoffs makes a big difference.
No question about it.
Also notice I had the wrong Ira. This is Cliff Ira.
Yeah, this is Cliff. I was going to say, was Greg his brother or his dad?
I'll bet they're related.
Must be.
Same part of the country.
This is a family, racing tends to be a family affair anyway,
Sure
and
does.
this kind of racing particularly, you find fathers and sons, brothers and sisters, all cousins, all kinds of family connections among teams. And when you see somebody who's got expertise with a certain brand of car, very often it's a prep shop that they might operate back home where they take care of Hondas or Mazdas or whatever it might be. So we'll see what the gap is here as Laughlin continues to put pressure on Cliff Ira for second spot. There's Trenery, your race leader, and we'll get the gap back to second here as the second place car of Ira goes by. Under the timing lights at start finish, 4.1 seconds. So Trenery, maybe knowing that Ira is on the charge, starting to pick it up just a little bit, trying to hang on to that 4-second lead. All right, 8 laps complete, make it 10 laps complete. That was halfway in this STL feature on Saturday morning, getting us going here at the 2014 SCCA National Championship Runoffs. We'll be right back with more in just a moment.
The 2014 SCCA National Championship Runoffs are being brought to you in HD by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. And by Hankook, driving emotion.
Some people go to enormous lengths in the name of safety, like the inventor of the flame-resistant racing suit, Bill Simpson. Courageous engineering is also the Mazda way, and why the 2014 Mazda 3 has an available class-exclusive suite of 8 safety features and a top safety rating. Because when it comes to safety, you can never go too far. This is the 2014 Mazda 3. What do you drive?
This is Kenny. Kenny is a dentist, but he races autocross on the weekends. But he's not thinking about his tires right now. Kenny buys all his tires from TireRack.com. Using their exclusive test track reviews, he knows he's always getting the right tires for his car. But Kenny's not thinking about tires right now. Kenny's thinking, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. This is awesome. TireRack.com, proud sponsor of the Tire Rack SCCA National Solo Program.
The machines and their manufacturers span the planet. This is no spec series. Diversity breeds excellence and brings battle. Ride with the best and test the iconic circuits of North America. No pit stops, no quarter. The world watches and knows this is how racing should be.
Back live at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Coverage on SCCA.com of the 2014 SCCA National Championship Runoffs alongside Randy Popes. I'm Rick Benjamin. Hayward Wagner has our coverage today on Pit Road. Glad to be with you on day 2 of the runoffs. Opening race held up about an hour 45 due to fog conditions here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Nothing unusual for this part of the world. Just had to wait for the fog to burn off. It has done so beautifully. Look at the sun shining, blue sky again. We should be fine the rest of the day. We'll compress the schedule down, get all 8 races in for you. We'll be here a little later maybe than we originally had planned, but not much because of local noise regulations. Have to be wrapped up by 6 o'clock today. Now Randy Popes as we work lap number 12. Cliff Ira just laid down the fastest lap of this race at 1:42.18. Now 3.5 seconds back. He can see Spencer Trenery.
Oh yeah, we got a race coming here. Second and third place are gaining on the leader. Could be that Trenery's fog setup is not working in the bright sunlight. because Ira and Laughlin have been quicker than him the last couple of laps, both of them catching the leader.
Problem you've got, though, is you've got to gain probably half a second a lap to get there and make a move. Down to Hayward Wagner.
Guys, we were just talking with the crew for the second place car. You're completely right on your assessment. Your leader went out this morning on the Hoosier A compound tire. A typically stands for autocross. It's a softer tire, better in cooler conditions. The car in second place went out on the R compound, the race compound tire. As temperatures come up, that tire is heating up and that car is getting faster, setting the fastest time in the race.
Cliff Ira also with another very quick lap, fastest lap of the race at 1:41.74. So Randy Popes, he's chopping into that lead at more than half a second a lap.
Oh man, he is coming. He was 1.2 seconds faster last lap. We can see it on our screen. This reminds me of David Daugherty yesterday choosing the soft compound and almost lost the race as a result. But good work, Hayward Wagner. Interesting information. That's why Ira's coming so strong. Those two Integras up front, both high revving VTEC Acuras that are lightweight and make super race cars. You can see that wheel lift again going down into 9. That's,
pick that inside rear wheel up. Yeah, no question about it. Here's Trenery, your leader. The Fantasy Junction 8 car has been out in front all the way. Had a great start to this one. They went 4 and 5 wide. We lost the 5th place starter, Ryan Schanfeld from Powell, Ohio, in an Acura. In a crash into the inside retaining wall as the field came up under the Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca Bridge at start-finish, headed toward turn 1 and 2. He's okay. Car was removed. We went local yellow briefly, and we've been green ever since, and that kind of opened things up. Top 3 have pulled away now. Jim Drago in 4th, being shown, 30, 35 seconds behind these top 3. You've got Trenery out front, Ira right there in the 36 car in second, and then Laughlin in the first Mazda in the field, the 27 running third, and not in bad shape. Now look at this, Ira just 1.3 seconds behind Trenery, and then another second and a half back to Laughlin. So Laughlin's not out of this thing either.
Not at all. He's in it, and that Mazda Miata will probably be a little more tire friendly than these front-wheel drive Acuras. But you can see they've got the right setup. We see that rear wheel locking up a little bit on Ira on the way in, and we're going to have a lead change, I think. But Ira's going to have to be a little bit patient and look for the right time.
Well, you know, you and I both live in the southeastern United States, the land of NASCAR racing, and there's an old expression in that form of racing, catching him's one thing, passing him something else again.
That's so true. Trenery's been out front. We know he's got a different tire setup, and the weather changed, the sun came out, and those tires are not the ideal setup for this hotter condition.
Notice the line there that Trenery's taking. We saw this some yesterday where you'd go driver's left almost into the dirt, heading toward the corkscrew. Trenery really taking advantage of that. Ira being more tidy, staying on the road all the way.
Maybe Trenery's running a wide radius to reduce the scrub on his tires. He's definitely got a tire heat issue right now because he's running a very aggressive compound that's really designed just for autocross, 40-second runs.
Yeah.
And we're already 20 minutes into this race.
Absolutely. Working lap number 14 of 20 here. Clock time, of course, important. A 40-minute timed race, and we're getting down where that could be an issue as well. Well, we don't see the time clock operating on our timing and scoring chart right now, so we'll trust that this one will be a lap count event. We're running race pace times about 1:45 for the most part here, so certainly plenty of time to run 20 laps. No full course yellows to this point, but let's get the split for you. That time, Ira had chopped the lead down to 9/10 of a second, so he is coming quickly. Ira making a move here on Spencer Trenery. There'll be 5 laps to go next time by. Ryan Laughlin in 3rd spot, just 2 seconds back of the leader.
Yeah, Laughlin's coming too, and you never know what kind of trouble may turn up between these Integras in 1st and 2nd. It's on, and that lead car, I know that feeling. He's coming like a freight train, a crew chief told me once, and I'm like, don't tell me that. I'm trying to be cool up here.
Laughlin in 3rd spot, 2 seconds back, and then you've got another 12, 13, 14 seconds back to Jim Drago, who runs 4th now in the 2 car. And Bob Shader 5th. There's been a position change back and forth at 5th. Take a look at the line being used there by the 3rd place car of Laughlin. Again, way onto the dirt. And now Ira has reeled in the leader, Trenery. Ira's in position to maybe make a move in another lap or so.
Oh, it's going to happen soon, and it's going to be good. And Laughlin may very well catch these two as they start battling for that position for the lead. Trenery smooth, trying not to slide that tire too much, not build the heat any more than he absolutely has to. and he's got a sweet car. It's going to be a race, and we've got when you're leading and the guy's coming like that, you can't help but feel like a little bit like a wounded fawn.
Yeah.
And here comes the hungry bear. We've also got traffic coming down into turn 2.
Leaders under the bridge at start-finish, heading toward turn 1 and now 2. And here's Ira. He's going to try it on the outside, heading to 2. Trenery defends on the outside.
Wow, did he? Swung right over in front of him.
Spencer Trenery using up a lot of road here, trying to keep Cliff Ira at bay.
Oh, and he gets a little kick sideways.
Little dust up ahead. Lap traffic may be a factor here.
It will be, I think. The heat is on, maybe into turn 5.
Brian Laughlin in third position back there in that blue Miata.
He's coming, isn't he?
He sure is.
He's coming. Oh boy, this is going to get crowded.
Under the Mother's Bridge here. Lap traffic immediately in front of the 3 leaders.
Little RX-7 and STL back of the pack. Points him by. Here
Cliff
comes
Ira
Ira
looking to the inside as they come up the hill.
He made a run.
Ira's
off that
got
last corner.
it. Cliff Ira takes the lead here at STL.
And Laughlin right behind him.
Brian Laughlin in that Mazda in this thing as well. Less than 5 laps to go. Trenery may be blocking Laughlin a little bit. Laughlin to the inside of the corkscrew. For second spot, he's got it.
Whoa!
Oh,
boy,
Trenery goes off-roading.
Yeah, you go too far inside of the corkscrew and it isn't good.
This is not the Baja. You can't do that.
It's rough in there. I hope his car's okay. He really was out of luck.
Yeah.
He was out of tire. And Laughlin just out-braked him right down into the corkscrew. Ira made a beautiful move down there in 5. He's held back, got a run, and took him into 6. It was a beautiful pass.
So Cliff Ira, your pole sitter, takes the lead after giving it up on the start. Took him 15 laps to do it, but now he is out in front and pulling away from Brian Laughlin. Spencer Trenery goes from first to third in the space of a couple of hundred yards. And we'll see what happens here with lap traffic as Ira has to drag the brakes to get inside that RX-7.
Unfortunately, the RX-7 driver runs wide, leaves him a lane through the inside. Well done. But, you know, if it had stayed foggy, nobody would have caught Trenery. But the sun came out, and that was sunset for Trenery.
Track temps change, tire pressures change, and all of a sudden the complexion of this race has changed. And Cliff Ira is on top. Saw the 188 there. We talked about him earlier. Michael Karpinski from Hayward, California, running 15th a lap down. Doing a very sporting thing, staying to the right side of the road, going down into turn 2, letting the leaders by. There's Trenery cutting to the inside of that lap car as well. Now we'll see if Laughlin's got anything in that Miata, we should say, to try to track down the race leader.
Well, you know, Cliff Ira is our tie rack pole winner. He started out quickest time, and Brian Laughlin was the second quickest time. So these top 2 cars are lined up right where they're qualifying. Ira looking pretty strong right now. I don't think Laughlin's going to be able to pedal that Miata up to him.
Coming up on 4 laps, make it 3 to go next time by. Working lap 17 of 20 here at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. 3
to go. We're getting near the end. The Miata needs for that Acura to heat up the tires and fade, and we're not seeing that. But we do always, this traffic, you just never know with traffic.
Well, as Hayward told us earlier, Ira on a little harder compound, Hoosier rubber. Laughlin presumably in the same sort of situation. The front drive, rear drive combination or the relative advantage of those 2 versions of technology may be the key to all this. Here is Cliff Ira making some great laps, has set the fastest lap of the race several different times today.
Yeah, and you know, the Mazda Miatas are so light, and they may be able to run a softer compound. Be interesting to know what tire he's on. But, well, we've got a lapper coming out of the turn.
39 in trouble coming out of turn 2 there. He was in that battle for 15th earlier. Cliff Ira with problems, it appears. Looks like engine smoke perhaps coming out of the back of the 36. We'll see if he's going to be able to nurse that home. Brian Laughlin in second. Again, smelling blood. Well, that's coming out of the front part. That's coming out from under the engine bay.
That's an oil leak.
Yeah, that is.
That's bad.
And we see the brake lights come on early. Ira's going to try to hang on. He may be oiling down the racetrack.
He may be. Watch for wiggles from the cars behind him and see how much they slide around.
I thought I saw some flame out from under the front of that car as he entered the left-hander.
Oh, could be. This looks like an oil leak because the smoke's not coming out of the tailpipe. It's coming from everywhere. But we only got 2 laps.
Yep. Working lap 18. He'll have 2 to go next time by. But these cars don't carry that much oil either. He's going to just run out of it soon, you would think, if it's burning up at that rate.
It could be, but you got them. You can't give up. As long as they don't black flag you, They're thinking about it. I guarantee the stewards are saying, are we going to meatball this guy? And that's a flag that requires you come in due to a mechanical issue. They don't want to oil the track for everyone else. And I would think that's what he's doing, but I don't see the cars behind sliding around much.
Brian Laughlin in second spot in that Mazda, thinking this could be my opportunity for a gold medal. Ira out of the final corner, heading up the front straightaway here. We'll see if the starter shows him any kind of flag. Can't see it from that angle as we watch the leader come by. No flag there.
You know what? You could see the official lean out and look at him as he went by. Oh, I don't know.
Man,
he better be
unless
carrying
he's
a
got a
lot.
front tire rub, but he didn't seem to hit anything, so I can't imagine he's got a tire rub, Aunt Randy.
Actually, he's starting to smoke up the inside of the car as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
I don't think it's a tire rub. That's an oil leak.
Hayward Wagner, what are you hearing on pit road about our leader?
As they came by the pit straight, we ran out to the wall and took a look. I didn't see any leaking under the car. I don't smell anything either, so I think it may be a very light oil leak that's burning off on the exhaust quickly, creating all the smoke. On your second place runner, that is a car also on the Hoosier A compound, so he should have lots of grip to go after the leader.
Ah, the Miata did have the
He has the
soft
autocross tire, the softer tire on there. Ira continues to lead, laying down quite a smoke screen here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, but apparently no fluid on the racetrack. Now I was watching, and your second place car of Laughlin, using pretty much the same line, doesn't seem to be impeded at all by moisture on the racetrack.
That's surprising, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's funny, Hayward says, I think it's a little leak. I don't think it's a little leak.
I don't know. Well, now if you had a little gasket leak, if you were pushing a little oil onto the headers, it can make a lot of smoke and you don't lose that much.
Yeah. And hopefully there's no fire going on under there. I don't see flame. Have you seen any more flames?
I thought I saw some orange under the front of the car earlier. Definitely see some heat pattern under there, but I think you can see it kicking. It looks like it's coming out of the breather maybe underneath.
Well, that car's running great.
It is, yeah.
He's not losing
Hey, you know when
any
they start
power.
running better? Right before there's a big blow up. Yeah, white flag, 1 to go for Cliff Ira. We'll see if he can hang on. He's got about 2 miles of racing to go to earn that gold medal here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
You know what? There's some other things going on up there. It's a front driver. Maybe he lost a boot on one of his CVs.
Possibly.
He's just throwing the grease off all over the exhaust system.
Hey, we're saying you couldn't smell anything. That's a distinctive odor generally when you have differential lubricant being burned up.
Or the grease from the CVs.
Yeah.
Because he's not slowing down. People don't seem to be slipping and sliding behind him. That's my guess. CV joint.
If you're greasing, well, we talked about tire rubs earlier as well, and Randy Popes, I think we both concluded there had not been any contact. Ira really hasn't been around much traffic so far, so I don't see any kind of fender wrinkling or anything like that.
Boy, you know that his friends, family, and crew are all crossing their fingers.
Yeah.
Anybody watching at home who's a friend of Cliff Ira is just saying, come on, one more half lap, just 5 more corners.
That's all you have to do.
See Laughlin falling back. He's probably coughing and choking back there. I think it's self-preservation.
All right, coming under the Mazda bridge at the end of the corkscrew, Cliff Ira looks as though he can roll home to victory here. Couple of it looks like the smoke might have cleared just well. He's probably used up all the fluid. Whatever it was that was burning seems to have burned off in that race car now.
It's actually getting better, and I think it's a boot on his CV. We'll have to find out from Hayward. Get him to roll down under there and look.
CV joints, of course, on a front-wheel drive car, crucial. Off the final corner, headed to the checkered flag. Cliff Ira is going to prevail and win gold here in STL at the 2014 SCCA National Runoffs. The championship to Cliff Ira. Second spot to Brian Laughlin. Spencer Trenery appears that he will be able to hang on and take home third, and the bronze medal honors 6.5 seconds behind Cliff Ira. So Ira, the pole sitter, laying down quick laps all weekend long. Once the car and the track kind of came to him, he was able to reel in Trenery. Brian Laughlin getting by as well. And Ira is your winner of the SCCA National Championship in STL. And here comes Laughlin up alongside to give him the thumbs up.
And a little fresh air.
Yeah.
Look at that camaraderie. He said, good job. You beat me. I'll get you next time.
For Cliff Ira, the smoke has abated, so I think we were sort of joking about it, but whatever it was that was leaking, causing the smoke, probably all burned away. Now we see a little smoke coming back in. Here's Trenery up to join the top 3 who will be on the podium for STL, coming alongside each other to congratulate one another on a hard-fought battle. If you're Trenery and you lead for 15 laps or so after grabbing the point at the start from 4th, it's hard to keep a stiff upper lip, I think, in that situation.
You know what? You roll the dice, you choose your strategy, and Trenery's been around. He knows.
Yeah.
He said, we went for it. The darn sun came out, and that was the end of his race. The sun came out and sent him backwards. You know, if it had stayed cloudy another 20 minutes, it's been cloudy all morning.
Yeah.
Nobody would have caught him.
Cliff Ira, your Tire Rack Pole Award winner in this one, and second place finisher Brian Laughlin, who qualified on the outside pole, gets the GoPro Hero Move of the Race award for making the pass on Trenery to grab second, entering the corkscrew. If you recall, he was on the dirt completely when he shouldered his way by Trenery. Trenery was forced to take an unusual line, kind of went bouncing down to the inside of the right-hander at the midway through the corkscrew there to avoid contact and get back on the racetrack and come home in third spot. So Laughlin takes home the GoPro Hero Move of the Race in this category.
I think Trenery was trying to hang on around the outside. Because sometimes somebody gets inside you in the left, you can gas it early, straighten that out, and get them back in the right coming out of the corkscrew. And he just got too far over there. It's rough out there.
That's the Brian Herta line from years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the Zanardi line.
Exactly.
Yeah, the pass on Brian Herta, yeah.
So
well
the
done,
top
Ingrid.
three, yeah, very nice. Cliff Ira with a good victory from the pole, but he dropped back and had to fight his way back into contention. Ira rolling down to the attention of his crew. SCCA officials will take him through tech. He'll receive the gold medal. And the STL 36 entry, that Acura Integra, comes home a winner today in STL here at the Runoffs at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca.
What smoke?
Yeah, I don't see
I
any.
wasn't smoking.
Don't smell anything.
It was generous of the stewards not to black flag him and pull him out of the lead, because I guess they were able to figure out he wasn't oiling down the track.
Yeah, you can see, of course, corner workers all around this 2.238 mile circuit, checking underneath, taking a look at the surface all the time and determining there was no fluid being laid down on the surface at all. So congratulations to Cliff Ira. Second spot to Brian Laughlin in the Mazda Miata. Spencer Trenery comes home third. Acura's take first and third here in STL. Let's hear from our winner. Downstairs to Hayward Wagner.
Guys, we're here at Cliff Ira's car. You can see the oil on the hood. Here where the hood pin is and the trail of oil up all across the hood. There was not a lot of race left in this car. We're getting Cliff's helmet off here. Getting Cliff's helmet off here. Cliff, your winner here in Super Touring Lite. Cliff pulling the helmet off, coming from behind in this race. A little bit rough there at the start. Had to run down the lead group. Talk a little bit about this drive.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. I could see the other Integra slowing down. He went out on autocross tires. I knew we had a run on him. About 4 laps ago, I had smoke come in the cockpit. I could smell it heavily. I had good oil pressure, good temperatures, still kept the power. So somewhere we've got an oil leak, but boy, the Fire Motorsports Acura Integra just rocked today. I'm so excited.
Talk to me. You had a strategy coming into this. We had fog this morning. It was either going to stay like it was or it was going to warm up. It looks like you set the car up for a warm race and had to endure the cool. Talk about how that happened.
Well, I've got to give credit to my brother Greg, who's got a lot more experience than I do. And we set this car up for a long run today. We knew it was going to be tight early, but as soon as these tires came in, they were going to be good. And it took them 4 or 5 laps to come in. That's why I fell behind. So just great strategy. I got to thank Greg for that. We made some changes to get the handling right, to get more grip. So that's it, man.
Well, a big congratulations to you. You're going to go out for your victory lap now. We're going to grab Brian Laughlin. Brian, come on up. Let's talk with you real quick. Your civil medal. You're running around second spot, watching the smoke out of this car. What are you thinking on the last couple of laps of this race?
I was afraid to push it a little too hard because I was losing some grip, and I didn't know if it was going to blow it up, if it was going to hold together. And I thought better hold on to second, take it easy a little bit. And if it was going to grenade, it was going to grenade.
Now, you had a pretty exciting moment there in the corkscrew, both of you guys getting past the leader in the same lap. Talk me through that move.
Got to go for it. That's it. Just go for it. And we did. And it panned out.
It looked like the pass in front of you lost a little bit of momentum. It gave you that opportunity.
Sure it did. We were a little bit better under braking. And then out of the corkscrew coming down, I guess it's 8, 9. You know, we could catch the front. I could catch front-wheel drive cars a little bit, but then they'd get me on the straightaway. So.
Well, a big congratulations to you on the silver medal, also earning the GoPro Hero Mode of the race for that pass.
Well, thank you, sir. I just wanted to say thank you to Hoosier, Mazda, Tulsa Radiology Associates, and Jesse Prather Motorsports. Thank you.
Great. All right, let's see if we can find our first place finisher, Spencer Trenery. Spencer, if you come right, we need to stay in our range here. Spencer, you had a great start. It looked like the car was really well set up for the cool conditions at the beginning of the race. Talk to us through his first coast laps.
Yeah, what happened here is that we ran a soft compound on all four corners of the car, and we knew it was going to be foggy. We live here. We know what the weather patterns are. And so it was perfect for the opening half of the race. And in fact, we gapped the field by 5 seconds almost. But the tires started to go off, and Cliff was catching me, and Brian was catching me half second a lap for 10 laps. And that was kind of the end of it. When I ran into some traffic in turn 5, Cliff got a run on me into 6. I had to let him go through 6, and that compromised my exit speed. Brian got by me into 8, and so then we were just there kind of having to wait for something to happen to those guys.
Well, a great start for the race for you, able to hold on to that third spot. You're one of the local guys here. What's it like to have the runoffs here at your track?
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, it's a big privilege for us to have it way out west. It obviously hasn't been out here my entire lifetime, so to have it out west is a big treat. We had a great experience here. The organization's been brilliant, and it's been really fun. Would have, of course, liked to win, but podium at the runoffs, nothing to scoff at.
Great. Well, congratulations on your bronze medal. Top 3 in street touring light, Acura, Mazda Acura. The story here, these tires that got out to a great start, but the harder tires here when the heat came in.
So tire choice, certainly one of the things that makes a big difference here, tire technology, and you know, how you treat those tires, how you set them up in terms of pressure and that sort of thing.
Hey, Rick, I'm the crew chief.
Yeah.
I put the soft tires on the inside only. Yeah, if I was daughtery. But here I am, armchair quarterback.
Yeah.
Sitting here after the race.
Yeah.
You don't know what the weather's going to be. It looks so foggy. Remember the start of this race? It was like a totally different day.
Absolutely. Well, and to that point, in Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, one of those places where you run counterclockwise. And so predominantly you've got left-hand turns here. You've got a few rights, but you've got a lot of lefts here. And then the key, turn 11, onto the main straightaway. Turn 10, you've got a bunch of high-speed lefts as well. Turn 2, where a lot of the action happens, left-hand turn. So if you're a harder compound on the right, that tire will hold up better over the course of a 20-lap run.
And the soft compound might be enough for those few right-hand turns.
A little bit of grip, a little bit of extra grip maybe.
I don't know, maybe I'll build myself a little car, get out here next year.
Good idea.
STL would be a fun class.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Mazda Miata,
Wouldn't that be cool? Or an Acura Integra. Obviously the front-wheel drive cars did very well here today.
Oh, yeah, and it was a good race. It was interesting to watch the drama unfold as the weather changed and the leader starts to fade. And I kind of get Spencer Trenery and Bruce Trenery a little bit confused there. Bruce got to be his dad.
Yeah.
And Spencer, young guy, doing a great job in that Integra.
Absolutely so. And that's the order finish for you at STL. Top 10, Ira, your winner. We heard from he and Brian Laughlin and Spencer Trenery, the top 3. They'll be on the podium receiving their medals. Jim Drago back up to 4th. Tim Auger ends up in 5th in the 07. Tom Manell 6th. Thomas Lepper 7th in the 21. Greg Amy, James Bishop, John Grillos. So the 5 car that was a contender in the top 5 early had problems and ends up deep in the field. 23 cars in the field here today. We had several not complete lap number 1. Bob Shader in the 5, who qualified toward the front. He ended up 5 laps off the pace, retiring with 15 laps complete. So tough way for him to finish the day. Hope you enjoyed the fun in STL. We will wrap things up in this event, race number 1 of day 2 of the 2014 SCCA National Championship Runoffs. We'll be back shortly with P2, Prototype 2 action will be coming your way in just a few minutes. For Andy Popes, Hayward Wagner, I'm Rick Benjamin. Thanks for watching the 2014 SCCA National Championship Runoffs here at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca.
The 2014 SCCA National Championship Runoffs are being brought to you in HD by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. And by Hankook, driving emotion.
Some people go to enormous lengths in the name of safety, like the inventor of the flame-resistant racing suit, Bill Simpson. Courageous engineering is also the Mazda way. and why the 2014 Mazda 3 has an available class-exclusive suite of 8 safety features and a top safety rating. Because when it comes to safety, you can never go too far. This is the 2014 Mazda 3. What do you drive?
This is Kenny. Kenny is a dentist, but he races autocross on the weekends. But he's not thinking about his tires right now. Kenny buys all his tires from TireRack.com. Using their exclusive test track reviews, he knows he's always getting the right tires for his car. But Kenny's not thinking about tires right now. Kenny's thinking, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. This is awesome. TireRack.com, proud sponsor of the Tire Rack SCCA National Solo Program.
The machines and their manufacturers span the planet. This is no spec series. Diversity breeds excellence and brings battle.